Alright, I want to take a look at the state of the market and show you some additional strategies that you could potentially use in this market. Give you some updates and some tips. If we look at the E-mini S&P, this is the day session. Ever since March the 30th, which is we're in eighth trading day since March 30th, we've been in about a 16 or 17 point range. You got a high of 1335.75 that was matched today intraday, and a low of 1319.50. So you got 16 and 0.25 point range, and so we're in this very narrow range. VIX has really dropped off. Pull up a chart of the VIX, show you this for those that don't know how to do the VIX. Take a look and we can format that symbol. VIX is an inverse relationship with the market. It usually goes down as the market goes up, because volatility and fear usually go down. This is a measure of fear and option prices. So today it is up slightly, but you can see we had a recent spike above 30 and then we've dropped down quite a bit. And so when VIX is low and ranges are low, the price action can be choppy, and sometimes we want to change the way we trade. Traditional day trade strategies might go through drawdowns like our low frequency portfolio, and I have a strategy I want to show you. This is actually a strategy that I've showed you before. See, we're just in this price range. We're happy to be around between 1325 and 1330 here for the opens and a lot of the closes. It's just really market really likes this 1325 area. But I want to show you this strategy called swing switch that I had. I presented this strategy a while back. I sold the open code because it's only 2 lines, and there's several different ways to use this. It's just 2 lines of code, and it's got really good results. And so because it's only 2 lines of code, there's lots of potential modifications, and it's basically a swing trading strategy. And it is, I'm going to turn this, it's off. Let's see. The swing switch is on with a 2250 stop loss, and so it's got the exits, the short entries are exits, and so it would have normally gone short there. We've turned short trades off and we're long only because we have the trend up. And so I'm going to take a look at the results for October, since October 2008. 38,600 to 27 per trade, $7,000 drawdown, 67% profitable. Here's the equity curve, very nice equity curve. Basically 2 lines, one for a long entry, one for a short entry. They're the same but opposite, and so the short parameters are the same as the long parameters. And we've turned off the short signal and just made this strategy exit on the short trade. And so you say, well, I don't want to hold positions overnight. I would like to see how this does as a day trade strategy. So you can sit here, you can format this strategy. We've got close at the end of day. You can insert that strategy and you can turn the status for that on, and you will have a day trade system. So there you have it, day trade system. About the same amount of profit, same amount of drawdown, less average profit per trade, less percent profitable, but you're not holding positions overnight. So you have less capital that is required. Let's see what else you can do with this trade. This is a 24-hour session, and so it actually gets in at the open of the next bar from the previous bar's close. And so when the market closes at 4:15 Eastern Time, it reopens at 4:30. It opens at 6. It closes at 16:15. Show you here how this works. It closes at 16:15, 4:15 Eastern, and then at 5. These are hourly bars, and so it opens at 4:30. So it really opens at 16:30. But the times on this bar you see are 17:30 because that's the close. That's the last price of the bar. So 15 minutes later, this opens and it gets in on the open. Buys at 12:27. The open is at 13:27. The open is at 13:27. And so it's actually holds positions overnight, but not during this 15-minute closing period. And it has a 2250 stop loss, and it gets out on the end of at the end of the session again at 16:15. But you can change this symbol. You can change this symbol to the day session. Take a look at the day session. So you just end up buying at the open of the day, close and selling at the close of the day. and you got that. The drawdown's the same. The average trade profit goes down to $94, which is still pretty good, and almost $24,000 in profit. So less profit when you hold overnight, but you don't have as much risk either. So you're only during the 8:30 to 3:15 Central Time is the only time you're trading. If you change that to ES.D instead of ES 24-hour session. So it's just a basic swing strategy, and you can play with it. I'm providing the open code below this for $97. It's only 2 lines, and so you can modify it. You can change your stop loss. Take a look at the maximum adverse excursion chart. You can see the reds are losers and the greens are winners. So sometimes you can take a look at this and say, well, most of my winners are, beyond or below the $800 drawdown, so I'm going to make my stop loss $825. So you can make your stop loss $825, and this window would only expand to $825, and all these extra losers that you see past $825 would now be only $825. The problem is these winners that say that, for instance, this winner right here was very high, 33.6250. It actually went against you 14.1250 at one point, so that would have gotten stopped out. You're gonna lose $3,300 in profit because you're going to get stopped out on that because you don't have a big enough stop. So sometimes when you draw a line right here and you put that stop loss in tighter, dial it in tighter than 2250, your overall return might go down, your drawdown might go up because you might have more losers. And so that's how you use maximum adverse excursion. I want to show you Viper, the crude strategies. I've got Viper Crude Oil. I've got delayed on this computer. It's a research computer, and I don't need real-time quotes to do the research. A lot of times when you do research on a computer that you're trading on, your data will get stuck loading, and then your automation strategies will not go through on time. If it's loading, it will lock your computer up a little bit. And so I have a second platform with delayed quotes on the markets that I don't need it. And I encourage you, if you do research during the day, to also consider doing this, to getting a second platform with delayed quotes. And so you see Viper Crude, we're long, we're getting out at in about 14 minutes. So we're at 112.60, very nice trade on the day. It's been a tough week in the low frequency portfolio, so we can really use this trade. It's going to work. It looks like it's going to work out. Also Viper Sugar. Let me find that. Viper Sugar is doing really well today. It's been loser yesterday, so that's another example of Viper trading. I also want to show you on the Viper Crude, we don't have a profit target in this. And when you lease a system, when you lease my system or any system, you can, if you know the exits in this system, it's $350 stop loss. We leave a lot on the table. So you might say, you know what, I don't really like the way that exit's at. Can we change it? And you can change it on your own. You have that flexibility. The system comes the way it comes. But if you want to insert a strategy, you ask the developer, or you ask me, you say, well, does that have a profit target? And they say no. And it says, well, I can insert my own. And they say, maybe they'll say, well, that will interfere with something else that we're doing. But in this case, for the Viper Crude, it won't interfere. So you could insert a profit target right there. And you could say, I want it to be, you don't want it to be on a position basis, or you can make it on a position basis if you want, but I keep it false on a per contract basis. And so say you want $500, and that will get you out at $1 higher on the crude. And so we would have hit our profit target already for the day. Once you've made $1, you're out. And so that is one way to modify. You can insert other exits. There's lots of other exit strategies that come with TradeStation or your own, and you can experiment with my strategies using your own exit. So that's something extra that you can do. So those are some of the updates I wanted to share with you going into the weekend, and we'll see what happens with this market. We're currently flat on Viper 3 Mini S&P, and that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.